This is video 8.5 of my weekly series where I try to make $180 a week selling covered calls on HIMS stock. And this week, I made a little bit more than $180. Let's take a look. This is how my week started. I had 300 shares of HIMS where I made $535. Well, if you divide 535 by 3, it's like 178. So I hit my goal on the one position. And as you can see, I then had 200 other shares. Something else happened with HIMS later in the week, though, that I'll discuss in a minute. I also bought Oklo. I had 100 shares in at 68.83, cost me 68.83, and I made 4.8% on my money, and I made $335. Now, Oklo was a very interesting stock. I got a lot of DMs. What's your plan? What are you going to do? What's happening? Because I bought it at 68.83, and as soon as I bought it, it dumped. So this is Monday. I bought Oklo around $69 a share and it dumps. Now, a couple things here. One, I could buy the options contract back and sell the stock at a loss, or I can just ride it out and see what happens. That's what I chose to do. If you are not okay owning some of these stocks, you definitely shouldn't do covered calls because sometimes the stock can drop and you're stuck holding it. That is one of the risks. Another one of the risks is that your upside is capped because, as you can see, it didn't just rebound, it skyrocketed. Now, I bought the stock in the 68, almost $69 a share, and you can see that it went to 77. I could have made, almost $1,000 if I had just traded this stock instead. But what do I always say? My goal isn't to make all of the money, just some of it. I'm still happy. I made 4% on my money, $335 profit, and I didn't have to do anything at all. It was very easy. Now, normally I trade weekly options. I buy the stock on Monday and immediately sell the call for Friday expiration. But with Oscar Health, I noticed that the premium was a lot higher if I just went out 2 weeks. So that's what I did. This contract will expire on August 1st. So if the stock is over $14 by August 1st, my shares are gone and I get to keep this $322. Let's see what happens. So we're going to keep an eye on this one because this position is still in my portfolio. So I got back 14,871 because all those shares were called away, and I got back $6,800 because this position was called away. This is what I was gearing up to make at the beginning of the week. It's cost me almost $26,000 to make about $1,200, and I made 4.6%. However, on Wednesday, I noticed that HIMS stock was flying. So I bought another 100 shares. I sold a contract with an August 1st expiration because the premiums were really high. So I decided, hey, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to pick up 100 more shares at $54.97. I immediately sold a strike price at $57 because by the time I had purchased the stock and was watching things, the stock was climbing. So I picked $57 strike price. The premium was $262. I made 4.7% on that position. So the weekly total to do this ended up costing me $31,400. I ended up making $1,454 for a total of 4.6% in a week. Another thing that I'm asked about constantly when it comes to this strategy is taxes. Whoa, bro, you're going to pay short-term capital gain. Look, I don't care, okay? I don't care if I have to pay more in taxes because of this strategy. Let me do it. Let me pay the short-term capital gains taxes. Yes, it's going to be a little bit higher, but you know what? I don't have a boss. I don't have a micromanager. I don't have team meetings. I don't have a commute. I was walking the dog the other day. She left this morning, by the way, but we were just dog sitting. I was walking the dog, line of traffic. Porsche, Range Rover, shitty old Toyota, all sitting in traffic, all going to a job. Not me, man. Not me. So short-term capital gains, yeah, I'll pay them. Now, people have been asking me, can you make videos on the taxes? No. I do not make videos about taxes. That is outside of my area of expertise. I don't know nothing about taxes. I have an accountant. Get you an accountant. I don't know anything about the tax stuff. All I know is that you're going to pay more, so you should consider, based on what your accountant says, not me, setting aside some of the money that you make. If you think you're going to be in the 22% tax bracket or whatever bracket you're going to be in, set that money aside. Set 22% of the money aside that you make. Put it in this high-yield savings account. Keep it in cash, whatever. Out of sight, out of mind, just to have that money so when your tax bill comes, you are prepared. Now remember, this is a weekly series, so follow me and also follow the playlist that this video is in because every Monday I update you with what I'm going to do. or in most cases what I've already done, because this is not a copy trading channel, so you can expect the video out around 4 p.m. on Monday, maybe 10 p.m. on Monday. This series is not designed for you to follow and copy. It's designed for you to learn. If I die tomorrow and you don't know how to do this on your own, come on, you gotta learn. Can't copy. Can't rely on other people. All right, see you later.